Hello everyone, I am Brittany Batts and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is where I love to discuss horror movies, and I just want to say happy August. We are so much closer to the best month ever, October, and let's get into the video. So I want to discuss every movie that I watched last month in July. I watched some pretty good films, but I didn't watch as many as I would have liked to. I don't know if you feel the same way, where you kind of have a hard time deciding on which movie to watch. With like so many at our disposal, like there are just so many endless movies that we can watch at any time, and that kind of makes it harder for me to like pin down one exact movie I want to actually get into. But anyways, I went ahead and finally watched Return of the Living Dead Part 2. I've never seen this one, and I feel kind of like a fake person because I love the first movie so much. I used to be like crazy obsessed with it when I was like in middle school. I would watch it every day, and you know, it's just perfect to me. It's funny, it's spooky, and it's an all-around blast. So this second one, like, I had really high expectations for, and you know what? It's pretty different, but it's not a bad movie whatsoever. It's actually pretty funny. It's kind of bizarre too, because I don't want to spoil too much, but we get to see some of the same characters from the first movie in this one, and it's pretty exciting. It's really different though. I highly recommend this movie. The next one I watched was The Crow. I pretty much watch this movie like any time because it's a major comfort film. I think it's very romantic. It's super sad, but also a beautiful love story that is captured really well. The next one I watched was The Watchers. This one was actually, I didn't know this when I first watched it, but the director is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, which is really neat. Overall, I would say I kind of enjoyed this one. I was kind of expecting it to be scarier. I was expecting there to be more of an explanation of everything going on, but you know what? This is her debut film, and I thought it was pretty interesting and very like atmospheric. That was perfect. The next one is an all-time favorite, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. I'll always love this movie. I don't care if anyone thinks it's overrated because I think it's legendary, and I just think you should respect this movie. It's amazing. It's a masterpiece, and it's one of the scariest movies around without actually showing like too much blood, which is really impressive. This next one was really cool to me. This was The Chain Letter from 2010. I love crazy movies like this, like anything having to deal with the internet and technology. Sign me up because that is so much fun to me. And this one was crazy because it's really gory and it's really dark, but it also kind of doesn't like fully make sense sometimes. But you know what? I just think it's cool. And the actors and actresses were also a major plus for this movie. You know, I just really love the early like 2000s chaotic movie edits. I'm pretty sure I discussed this before, but that's some of my favorite aesthetics in any movies. So this one was like a perfect nostalgic movie to watch. The next movie I watched was The Exorcism with Russell Crowe, and this one might be confusing. You might be like, wait a minute, wasn't he just in The Pope's Exorcist? Yes, he was, but these are two different stories, which is kind of funny. But anyways, The Exorcism was pretty neat. I actually like this one more than The Pope's Exorcist. I'm hoping we see Russell Crowe in more horror movies. His performance in Unhinged was just like crazy. It felt so real, and this is why I am scared of people on the road. But anyways, this one was really spooky, and the buildup was excellent. I loved how suspenseful the whole movie was, building up to the very ending. This one, I don't know, I have to say I was highly impressed with this one, especially because more like modern exorcism movies just don't really like hit the same spooky spot as like older ones. So speaking of M. Night Shyamalan, I went ahead and watched Signs again, and I loved it more than ever. It's like a half and half, because it used to scare the crap out of me when I was little, but now when I watch it as an adult, I'm like, this one's kind of funny. And then I'm a big Scary Movie fan, so I love Scary Movie 3, and this one was like making fun of Signs so much that I kind of can't help but like think of that movie and get the giggles. The next movie I watched was The Shining. You know, we lost Shelley Duvall last month, and it was just such a shock to me. I rewatched The Shining and wanted to just appreciate her more and more, and it was really nice to rewatch it. You know, this movie is very mind-bending. You're so confused, but in a good way. I don't think The Shining could ever really get old for me. It's one of those movies that just gets better and better each time I watch it. And if you haven't looked into conspiracy theories about that movie, that's a rabbit hole that you could go down. I sure went down that rabbit hole myself. Okay, another one that really impressed me was Them. I know I had seen this before in the past, but I totally forgot what it was called, and I forgot like the main storyline, because the ending is what stuck in my head for years and years and years. And then when I rewatched this, I was like, oh, it's that movie, because the ending is just, oh, it's like a big punch to the stomach. You'll see what I mean if you watch this one, or if you've already watched this one. It's kind of like The Strangers. So you're dealing with a home invasion, but it's a little bit unique because it's not your typical home invasion movie. Another favorite I rewatched was American Psycho. That movie, you could put it on for me any time of the day and I'll be happy to watch it, because it's just perfect. It's psychotic, it's crazy, it's insane, and makes you question reality. And also you're just so amazed by what these people's lives are like and what they're all wrapped up in. So this next movie I watched is called Incantation. This is a Japanese found footage movie, and let me tell you, when I put this movie on, I wasn't expecting to be like so into it, but it sounded intriguing. And then when I was watching it, I felt like so excited. I haven't felt that excited while watching a found footage movie in quite a little bit of time, probably since I last watched The Frogman. Now, I know that wasn't that long ago, but if you haven't seen that one, go check that out. I might have to make a whole video about that one, because it's like the perfect formula for a found footage movie. Another one I watched was Abigail. I was actually gifted this movie by my sweet, wonderful friend Daniel, and I got to rewatch this plus the bonus features, and that just showed me how dedicated everyone on the team was. The directors are insanely good at what they do. Everyone that was chosen for this movie added their own little personal spunk to it, which makes it very special and interesting. It's funny, it's pretty violent, it's a big gore fest, and it's so action-packed. I think there's a little bit of something for everybody, and it's a good movie to watch with someone who's kind of into horror movies but maybe not like that into them. And technically I watched this one in July, but on my letterbox I have it written down for August because I just put it in late. But I watched House from 1977 for the very first time, and let me tell you, this movie was like just a big chunk of art. It's a masterpiece. I was going in thinking, okay, haunted house movie, let's go. But there was so much more to it. It's one of the most visually stunning movies I've ever seen, especially from the 70s. I'm really like not that knowledgeable of movies from the 70s. I'd love to see some more, so if you have any suggestions, please let me know down below. I will surely get to those soon, because I have this great appreciation for older art, and especially film. It's just so impressive to see how far everything has come and how horror used to be back then. It's so interesting to me, so please let me know. Well, that wraps up the list. I'm hoping that I will be watching even more horror movies this month. Please let me know your thoughts on any of these that I listed. And as always, take care and be safe, plus stay spooky.